Thanks for staying tuned. I'm Colin Abrams with the HGP SPORTSCAST. Guyanese chairman Hetmar's superb ton and skipper Jason Holder's nail-biting final over helped the Windies to level the series against Bangladesh at Providence on Wednesday night. Kristen Macklingham has more.
In a thrilling day and night affair at Providence, man of the match 20-year-old Shimron Hetmyer wowed the crowd with his shots across the field as he produced his second ODI century and became the youngest West Indian to score a ton at home. Hetmyer produced 125 runs from 93 deliveries with 3 fours and 7 sixes. The Windies, who were sent in to bat first, had a lot of groundwork to do after losing the opening ODI by 43 runs on Sunday. The openers made flashy cameos as the Windies were on 3 for 77 just after 18 overs. With a lot more overs to go, Hetmyer and Romain Powell pedaled the Windies with a 5th-wicket partnership of 103 runs. That partnership was eventually broken in the 43rd over when Powell was bowled by Rubel Hussain for 44. The West Indies were on 205 for 5 at that stage. They finished their innings on 271. The Bangladeshis started like a rocket, producing 10 runs per over until the 7th over when the Windies brought on spinner Ashley Nurse. He slowed the Bangladeshis' run rate as the Windies managed to rein in the visitors. But that didn't crush the Bangladeshis as 3 of their batsmen produced half-centuries. The game seemed to be balanced in Bangladesh's favour, but things took a left turn in the 45th over when Mahmudullah was run out by Nurse off the first ball of Holder's over. Guyanese Kimo Paul added more salt to the wound when his last ball of the 49th over had Sabir Rahman caught by Hetmyer. Skipper Jason Holder was tasked with the last over while the Bangladeshis had to score 8 runs to win the series. Musfiqur Rahim was caught by Kimo Paul in the first ball of the final over. Bangladesh fell short by 3 runs as the Windies levelled the series. The last ODI will be in St. Kitts on Saturday, July 28. For HGP Sport, I'm Kristen Macklingham.
The Guyana men's hockey team are through to the semi-finals after defeating Guatemala and placed second in Pool A at the CAC Games in Colombia. Kristen has more.
After a victory over the Dominican Republic in their first match and a loss to Mexico, Guyana's match on Thursday against Guatemala was an important one to win. While the mismatch in quality of the two teams was apparent from the outset, it took Guyana's youngest player, Meshach Sargent, until the very end of the first 15-minute quarter to make a breakthrough and score the first goal for Guyana. The Guyanese team grew in confidence and the quality of hockey improved against the Guatemalans. Midfielder Joranzo Skilax-Bell led the scoresheet at the final whistle with a hat-trick, while captain Robert France added a double in addition to singles scored by Randy Hope and Arudi Branford. Guyana goes through to face Cuba on Friday, July 27, while the other semi-final will see Trinidad and Tobago battle Mexico. Meanwhile, the Guyana women lost all 3 pool matches and was scheduled to play Jamaica on July 26 at 12:30 p.m. Guyana time for an opportunity to finish 5th in the 8-team competition. For HGP Sport, I'm Kristen Macklingham.
Thank you, Kristen. On Tuesday, the 8th annual GBTI Open came to an end with the 7-time Open champion Anthony Downs taking the title for the 8th year, coming up against newcomer Jonathan Fagundes.
The GBTI Open is the biggest championship on the calendar of events for the Guyana Lawn Tennis Association. Jonathan Fagundes was shut down by the reigning champion Anthony Downs in the men's singles. Due to bad weather, the men's finals match was reduced to supersets. The multi-talented Fagundes put up a valiant fight in what could have been a Cinderella story for him had he won. Fagundes, who is better known for his exploits in athletics and cycling, had eliminated some of Guyana's top seeds to get to the finals, but was defeated by Downs 4-0. Speaking with HGP Sports about the finals, Downs said he was very excited about retaining his title.
Well, it feels great, because it's a record here. So I came back specifically from Brazil here to play this tournament.
Okay, I know Jonathan is unseeded in the country right now. How does it feel to come up against somebody who is now blossoming in the tennis world?
Well, it was really nice playing Jonathan because you see, as a junior coming up, we used to train together. We used to do a lot of running because he's a runner, right? And it was nice. It was nice to play with him. He played some good matches. The semi-finals and the quarterfinals was 3-setters. So I think he did well, and it was nice to have somebody different in the finals.
Fagundes said he thought he played good games coming into the finals and was appreciative of the turnout.
Firstly, I must say thank you to God, the supporters and the sponsors of the tournament, and thank you to the media for the coverage. For me, entering the final for the first time, it's been an experience. And playing through the other rounds, my faith and belief take me through. and some of my experience, because, you know, and as being an athlete, my endurance is what strives me through to the final. Yep.
So you never played tennis before, and this is something that you're unseeded in Guyana, and it's amazing that you reached so far in the tournament. Can you tell us what is your aim next going forward in tennis?
Well, my aim for go forward in tennis is to be seeded and to probably compete to be the best in Guyana, because I'm going to start to train regular. But I must say, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, with the little talent that the players and the supporters see, they can help me out in terms of sponsor.
So you're not you do I know you do cycling, you do boxing and all these things. Who are your big or major supporters? Because I know you told me earlier that you don't have your own equipment and stuff like that. What would you tell people out there to support you, or what will you ask them or tell them to make them support you?
Well, what I would like to say, you know, is, you know, continue to come out to these events, not only to support me, but to all the other youths and developing players out there, because talent is everywhere in this country. Because look at me, you know, I move from one sport to the next and I continue to progress. But, you know, the support that I have is some local Guyanese that would see me and ask me questions, how I do this, how I do that. That is the kind of support. But in terms of financial and help with gears, I don't know how can I say, but I can ask. You know, my number is 6424714. You can contact me if you want to help me out.
Meanwhile, in the women's finals, Christy Campbell was forced to forfeit the women's title to Kalkia Fraser. Cramps plagued the informed Campbell, forcing her off the court.
Well, it was a very good match. It was highly contested, and in the first set at 4-all, I started having some cramps, and I tried to go forward, but I ended up having to forfeit the match in the second set.
Okay, and do you think that you, without these cramps, do you think you could have gone all the way and get the title this year?
I don't want to predict, because tennis is a funny sport and it's not over until the very last point. Khaleesi was playing a very good match, and I can't predict and say if I would have won. I wouldn't discredit her and say she hasn't been playing well, or I could have won had it not been for my cramps. She played an excellent game, and it was just quite unfortunate on my part.
And that concludes the GBTI Open for this year. We hope to come again next year to the GBTI Open tournament. For the HGP Sports, Colin Abrams.
And finally, 7-time Grand Slam champion Serena Williams says she believes that the amount of drug tests she is asked to give is discriminatory, since she is the most tested American tennis player.
The 23-time Grand Slam singles champion made the claim in a tweet on Tuesday after doping officials visited her. She had previously expressed frustration about the volume of tests earlier this month. Williams was tested 5 times out of competition in 2018 alone by the U.S. anti-doping agency, USADA. An article by the website Deadspin published in June. The website also claims that the player was not present when USADA officials visited her home on June 14. Williams said the tester showed up to her doorstep 12 hours earlier than the time agreed upon. That occasion was eventually marked as a missed test, and according to USADA, 3 of these would result in doping violations. When the Deadspin article was published, Williams had been tested more times than twice as many times as many other top American players, be it male or female, including U.S. Open champion Sloane Stephens, who stands at 1, and her sister and multiple Grand Slam winner Venus Williams at 2. Williams was asked about the findings of the report during Wimbledon earlier this summer, to which she responded, saying she was unaware that she was tested much more than anyone else. It is understood that the doping test Williams claimed in her tweet to have had on Tuesday was not conducted by USADA. Colin Abrams reporting for the HGP Sports.
And that has brought us to the end of this edition of the HGP Sportscast. Remember, if your dream is big enough, the facts don't matter. Goodbye.